So about a year ago, I put up a video showing the difference between the Fresco exhaust and the stock exhaust of my 2018 Husqvarna Vitpilen. After watching that video a few times, I realized that I made a big mistake by not placing the camera equal distance from the exhaust when I did the test. So now that I've got time on my hands, I decided to put up another video with a little bit better testing and some added things. So here we see a side-by-side comparison of the stock Husqvarna exhaust compared to the Fresco exhaust. And the first thing we notice is obviously the difference in size. That huge can on the stock exhaust is just massive compared to the Fresco, and same with the pre-muffler. Just a huge difference in size. So one thing I did do, as you can see, I took both the exhausts apart and off of the bike, and I decided to weigh them. You see the stock exhaust weighs 6.4 kilograms with the pre-muffler, the muffler, all the bolts, and the foot peg holder. And then the Fresca, which is very little, is only 2.9 kilograms. Just a big difference. Now here's my first test. This will be with the stock exhaust. So that looked like it idled at around 67 dBs, and the maximum, at least on this test, was 76.8 dBs. Now here, I have my FLIR built into my phone, so I just decided to walk around the bike and see what the heat was like, just from that short little run. As you can see, the temperature scale, the dark blue, purple on the right is about 17 degrees Celsius, where the left side, the white is, depending where you are, high. And as you see at one spot, we're up to almost 120. Yeah, 120, 130 degrees Celsius. So, and that's right coming out of the motor. So it does get quite hot at that, just for even running that short. So I did a quick little time lapse here, just pulling off the stock exhaust and then putting back on the Fresco exhaust. So one thing I want to show you is that if you're putting on the Fresco exhaust, and maybe some other exhaust, when you remove the pre-muffler, there's a silver tube at the bottom, as you can see clearly in this picture. You have to, I shouldn't say you have to, but it's at least for the Fresco exhaust, the way it bolts onto the bike, you have to remove that tube, which just slides out. Is a little difficult. I got to put the phone down to do it, but with two hands. But slide that out, and then it comes with a long bolt that held it in. So once it's you put the Fresco exhaust on, you're going to use that long bolt and basically this big silver spacer, chrome spacer, to hold the exhaust on. The Fresco exhaust. And back to the time lapse. I do have paddock stands front and rear to lift the bike up. It is much easier to put the Fresco exhaust in this way, I found, plus taking out the original exhaust. because you can actually pre-build the Fresco, getting all the springs on, which is easier out in the open instead of trying to climb under the bike to do it. So now, here's the test with the Fresco exhaust. So that seemed to average around 75 dB at idle, and obviously the maximum was 83.4 dB for this test setup. I should also mention that all the mic or my phone was set 1 meter away from the exhaust in each case because is it a Toronto bylaw or Ontario bylaw now for noise? I think it's Toronto bylaw that they are measured at 1 meter away from the exhaust. So tried to replicate that. So just to recap, stock exhaust 6.4 kilograms. The Fresco exhaust comes in at 2.9 kilograms. The Fresco idled at about 67 dB average, where the Fresco idled at about 75 dB. And the maximum I got on this test for the stock exhaust was 76.8, and the maximum for the Fresco was 83.4 decibels. I hope you enjoyed this video better and were a little bit more informed. I plan to put up more videos. I plan to do a drive-by plus a closer look on the modifications that I have done to my 2018 Husqvarna Vitpilen. If you like this video and you want to see more, just click the subscribe. Thank you. Good night.